Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. We've got a new project going on here at the farm, and let's take a look at it. It's December 7th, and we're out here in the garden, and we're starting this project. As you notice at the end of the garden here, this was never used. I started containers up here, but I had planned quite a while back to convert this, and so what I've done is I've actually taken the tiller and tilled up this. Now some of it had the black plastic that was under it, so it wasn't any grass there, but there was quite a bit of grass here, and said the best way is just till it up, put it into the soil, and then I'll mark this off with beds. My beds will be initially composted with, I'll put the ground cover between this and utilize this part of the garden. And my slave labor's up here cleaning out this corner, because when we do this, of course, then we'll start over here on this other part and finish that project. Back to say normal. We've burnt most of the weeds off the fence line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm staking this off for the garden plot. And once we get this staked, we'll measure it, let you know how many square feet or cubic yards, not cubic, square yards, that we've got in this little garden plot. And this shouldn't take too long. And I've got my load of compost, been needing to be unloaded for a while, so let me get after it. I got my bed marked off. Nothing spectacular. No expensive tools, just some colored twine. I've used this over and over. Now I do have a box here that turns my water on. One of my valves. I have another one over here. And what I've done is I built this up higher with bricks, because when I come in here and build my compost, I don't want to cover up my box, and I don't want it just kind of where I've got to clean it off every time I use it. So what I'll do is I'll just use these bricks to stabilize that, and I think I've got a piece of granite or something I'll put on top of that. Once I get these beds in, I'm going to take and I'll put ground cover, just like this here, along my fence, so I'll cut down on some of my weeding, and I'll put it between the rows. But let me get this compost down. For those of you that's been following the channel for a while, you know this area up here was just kind of weeds. We had it covered before. This was where we had our containers up here, double row of half 55-gallon barrel containers. We did potatoes in them and such. But anyway, we finally got around to turning this into some usable space. And I kind of like to use this as a so-called victory garden. During the World War II, when they have shortages and stuff like that, a lot of people started gardens, and they call them victory gardens. And I'm going to call this victory garden because I'm going to say a victory over food shortage. So if you decide it's a good time, start you a garden. Now I try to make this low maintenance. I put the ground cover down. I had tilled this, as you've seen, and took and covered it with compost. And I also, down at the end here, because I'm going to kind of not use this gate so much, and I'll put in another one. I'll show you up there, but I've extended this row out to take up this space, so that gives a little bit more added room. Now we had some water valves here, and so what I've done is just put bricks around them. That'll do good enough, and then I'll put a cover on that one. But I've put this other gate in. It always seems like I'm coming here, and this was where my main walkway come down here, and we'd always have to come from there. I did put in a wider row in here so I could go down there, but we'd always end up most of the time coming down to this walkway, and so it made more sense to put a gate. I had a little gate for here, so that wasn't a problem. Plus, our fence ended right about here, and we didn't utilize it very good. And we had a ugly bunch of a metal rack sitting here and stuff. We had moved it. We've got some granite tiles, countertop tiles. We're going to go along the edge of this shipping container that's going to be so varmints won't decide to come in. We could put a fence, but it'd be a lot better just to put something solid barrier there, and should take care of that. But we're also going to turn this area into a planting area. Went ahead and tilled it up. I'll let it settle in some, and then we'll mark it off to plots. We figured we'd make a little more asparagus area, and I don't know, maybe we'll do flowers. I don't know there. And we also, of course, got a little bit of work to do, but we took and narrowed this row down just a little bit, and we had this 6-foot walkway over here. And what we did was we added one more row here, and then we'll put some ground cover here, but we're going to do the same thing, put some blocks along there. But anyway, if any of you have been planning to do some gardening, I want to encourage you to make this the year that you do it. Now, we're going to treat these beds kind of for now as separate. These are about 40, 45 feet long. I'm going to say 40 feet. And they're 3 feet wide. And we do all our beds that way. Now, whether you want to garden in raised beds or whatever, we don't have a problem with heavy clay soil. And to me, that'd be about the only reason to want to garden in raised beds, unless you've got some kind of disability that keeps you from getting down on the ground. But what we're going to do is we're going to plant these. And I want you to go down in the comments. Now, I'm not going to plant anything that I don't like. So, because this is going to be like a kitchen garden, like most people might grow, we'll grow common things in here, maybe a few uncommon things. But we're going to see how much food we can grow in a small area, which this would be overall space 6 by 40. And now, depending on how much room you have, and of course we've got a walkway in, and we've made it bordered around it too. But I want you to, down in the comments, make suggestions on things that we might grow. I know I have some shallots, and that'll probably be one of the first things I get in here. But I'll go ahead and upload this video. Y'all do some comments, give me some ideas, and we'll get started on this and see how it goes. There's a lot of things that, even though it's January 13th, there's a lot of things that can grow in this garden. So I say, give me some suggestions. And if you're new to my channel, of course, hit subscribe. You can follow along as we do this little journey. Give me the thumbs up and share this video. It really helps my channel. Enjoy that gardening experience.